One. Hey, time to shine today's varsity squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I am more than privy and stoked to have this guest on. And it's not being light or even a half lie or anything to say this man legitly saved my life. I'm a big guy as the people that know me, that met me, and also the people that I've met that I coach, or as I'm speaking on stages, are like, oh man, you look like a linebacker in football and stuff. But that's all fine and dandy. But if you don't have the flexibility, if you don't have the elasticity in your muscles, you're going to grow old and hunched over and just not feel good. And in 2015, I was feeling that way, and I got introduced to Todd Mclaughlin from Native Yoga Center here in Juno Beach, Florida. And I'm proud to call Todd a friend, a colleague, and he's just an amazing man that took a big, frumpy guy and took his time and took me through Ashtanga Yoga series, and I stuck with it, and you guys hear me on podcasts talking about Ashtanga Yoga almost every day. So I stuck with it. It's amazing, and I get to bring on Todd today. Todd is the co-founder of Native Yoga Center in Palm Beach. It's actually in Juno Beach, but it's Palm Beach, and also the Palm Beach Thai Massage in Juno Beach, Florida. Todd is a licensed massage therapist and registered yoga teacher with over 20 years of practice and teaching experience. Todd believes that yoga and bodywork has the power to transform our experience of the world. His inspiration comes from his family and local community, and he strives to make the world a better place. And also, another credential that Todd didn't put on there, he is the #1 yoga studio, as per the Palm Beach Post, here in South Florida. So without further ado, Todd, would you please come on and introduce yourself? But first, please let us know your favorite color and why.
Favorite color is got to be blue. Blue because I love the ocean. So anytime I get a chance to just stare out the sea,
right.
That's for me. That's a really calming and relaxing color. So blue would be it.
I'm right there for you. And folks, if you're familiar with Juno Beach, Florida, his studio is right at Donald Ross Boulevard and US 1. So literally you can walk to the beach in 7 to 10 minutes from where Todd's at. And that's the only reason why it'd take even that long. So you have to walk around buildings. They keep it legal to get to the beach. So you can actually probably walk there in a straight line in like 3 to 4 minutes. But Todd, thank you so much, brother, for coming on. You're an amazing guy. I know I sound like a big fanboy when I talk about you, but give us the origins of Native Yoga and take it back, because I've been wanting to have this conversation with you for a while. Take it back to when you were younger and you first got on your yoga mat, and let's take it forward into owning the most successful yoga studio in South Florida.
Oh, well, thank you, Scott. So to take it way back, my first yoga experience was when I was 18. I moved to Gainesville to go to University of Florida. And, it was a different type of yoga. It was a yoga that involved more of chanting and meditation. And that's what kind of piqued my interest. And at that point, I was really keen to travel and see the world. And India seems like such an exotic and challenging place to go that that kind of got me thinking that eventually one day I dreamed to be able to go to India and practice. And then fast forward quite a while, then I started going to massage therapy school in Miami, and I came back here to Cuesta to visit my parents, and my mom was going to a yoga class, and this was it's called Hatha Yoga, which is the main type of style that most of us practice with breathing and posture. And I went to my first, went to that yoga class and just was blown away. And I absolutely fell in love with it right off the bat. It was so incredibly challenging, and it pushed me way beyond my limits. But I felt so enlivened by it that really got me hooked. And so at that point, that was a particular style where it was like hot yoga, and I had started to go. I went out to California to do a teacher training, and at that time, I'd also met my wife, Tamara, and So when I got back from that teacher training, I said, Tamara, that was so incredible, so unbelievably difficult. You got to go try this. And so she went out, did the training as well out in California, and came back. So we started teaching here in Palm Beach County, and that was in 2001. So
Wow.
I was teaching here in Tequesta and in West Palm Beach and in Stewart, and I was trying to teach at any studio that I possibly could. And then at that point, we had gotten an opportunity to go out to San Diego in California
Mm.
and co-own and run a Bikram yoga studio in Mira Mesa, San Diego. And so that was a really incredible opportunity because that put us, California is just saturated in the yoga culture, and it's got a lot of incredible teachers. And so, we'd done the Bikram thing for a long time, and we got a little bit, I'd say, like jaded with his
Burned
characteristics
out,
and
right?
personality. Yeah, a little burned out, literally, and figuratively speaking. And at that point, we thought, let's go to India and let's go, go practice this method called Ashtanga Yoga with Manam Patabi Joyce in Mysore, India. So, we packed up, traveled over, and had a really incredible, amazing experience in India. And that really set us on the course with Ashtanga Yoga. And we fell in love with the Mysore style of practice, which is the method that you practice, which
Right.
is, you learn how to do the moves and you learn the breathing. And then once you learn the forms and the sequencing, then you can practice it no matter where you are, at home, when you're traveling, and it gives you this incredible element of self-sufficiency in the practice. So I'm so stoked that you're still loving it,
Yeah.
as you are. I'll keep going here quickly to get to where we are today.
Yeah.
So at that point, after we had traveled and came back to California, it was our dream to open up our own studio that was not, affiliated with any particular teacher and franchise system. And
Or style, probably.
or style even as well. We wanted to have the freedom to be able to express our passion for yoga without having those sort of restrictions that can be placed in a franchised environment. So we decided to come back here. This is where I was born and raised, and we opened up. We have our 14-year anniversary this month, actually, April 17th. It'll be 14 years now. Yeah.
Wow.
So we show up every day. We've been teaching class here in the same studio space for the last 14 years. And it's our passion. It's our dream. We love it. So I can't express how great it is to have people come in every day who love the practice, and, to hear your story where, you feel inspired by it and you're still on the track. That's what really makes this so enjoyable for us.
That's amazing. And folks, if you're not familiar with Mysore, this is why I got really turned on to the style of not only Ashtanga, but the Mysore style, is that, I'm a gym rat from the get-go of my life. And it's almost like I can go with a friend and she might be light years ahead of me in her practice, but we can still go get a workout in together. We're still within our own mat, but it's like kind of going to the gym and getting a workout in and not having, because I can maybe now, but I could never follow somebody at the front of the class. It's like, I'm just not. So this style, if you're thinking about yoga, please look into an Ashtanga style with a Mysore style as well, because it'll allow you the freedom, as I like to call it, is to be able to go get on your mat and go to your own limits. And what's nice about it is, especially at Todd Studios, he has his students that he's teaching become teachers walking around the room to help you push you more into your asanas or your poses to keep you progressing, as we like to say at Time to Shine today, level up. So we're always trying to level up. So Todd, that's an amazing, amazing journey that you have. So I've always wanted to ask you, what makes, because you went through some styles and you worked with people that are either loved or hated, Bikram, in the yoga industry, like, what do you think makes a great yoga teacher?
Oh, well, I think what makes a great yoga teacher is it requires just really being passionate about the practice and having a connection with the practice. And in my opinion, what makes yoga really incredible is that at the the premise of yoga, because it is a really old tradition that's debatable how old, but most historians will say around about 5,000 years ago. The premise of yoga really is transformation. And a lot of it's about from going point A, which sometimes is a place of being broken, or maybe you experience some trauma, or just coming from a place of not really feeling great about things in life. And yoga has this ability to help us to kind of work through that, process it, and come out stronger on the other side. So I think that as you experience that and you have that passion and that feeling of how you really benefit from it, then if you venture into the territory of sharing that with others and teaching, I think if you have that as your basis and your premise, and then just keep that at heart, then I think that's really the foundation of becoming a strong leader and or teacher.
That's I couldn't have even said it better in any other, no matter what profession it is. That was fantastic.
Right? What you think?
Passion. So take us through, in 14 years, take us through the growing pains. Take us through tell us a failure, because I make all of my guests tell us about a failure, how you pushed through and leveled up through that.
Well, I'm really glad you asked that, Scott, because I'll say that about 2 weeks ago.
But
about 2 weeks
in
ago.
full disclosure, squad, we're in the middle of our quarantine here. So Todd, I got to cut you off. Todd actually pivoted during this time. You didn't hear him, lack of a better term, bitching and complaining. He pivoted and started videos so people could follow at home.
That's
Okay?
right.
So
That's
I'm sorry, Todd, go ahead. I just totally stole your thunder, but I'm so impressed by it.
No, thank you. The reason I wanted to bring that up is I could come up with a lot of other examples, because anytime your passion also becomes your business, that sounds great, but to keep the holding power going for a long period of time is very challenging. And undoubtedly you hit these speed bumps that try to throw you off course, as we all know. And about 2 weeks ago, when there was the news that coronavirus was going to impact all of our businesses, and there was about it happened on the 17th of March, where I had received an email from a governing yoga body saying, we recommend that every yoga studio in the country closes down right now. And I felt my whole world just shake. I felt like, how am I going to survive? How am I going to pay my rent, my mortgage? I have children and my family, and I just don't even see how this is possible. How can they be asking me to do this? And I really got shook by it. And, my wife is so awesome. And she was like, Todd, we have to do this even before they make us do this, because this really is what we need to do right now to make sure our community is healthy. Sure. And you have to look at it like, what if you're a carrier? You might feel great, but what if you're getting other people sick? And I just surrendered, in that moment. It was the most scary feeling. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I knew I've been through enough challenges over the years that I know the amount of potential growth that can come out of these sort of challenges.
Huge. I
just surrendered. I laid back on my bed. I said, I can't believe I'm shutting my business right now. And I said, let's do it. So, once we made the decision, I just had this feeling of like, oh, wow, what's going to happen? And a friend of mine, luckily, he said, Todd, go on Amazon right now and get a web camera. Everyone's going to want one in about a week. And so I was like, you know what, I'll get one. And, I've had, people like you, Scott, my friend Ryan, I've had my friend Mike. They've all been pushing me like, go online, put classes online. I've just been hesitant because I'm just an in-person kind of person. Right. I like to see people and be around people. Well, I got the camera, and 2 days later, I started streaming classes live, and I can't even tell you how incredible the experience has been.
Wow.
All of our students, and I'm reconnecting with students that are right now in France, and people that are in California, and
right.
people in parts of the country and world that are coming and practicing with us. And it's been this incredible process that, I really had no idea. And the transformation that's occurred just in the last 2 weeks has really taught me once again, you just got to look for a solution, don't worry about how's this going to work. Just
Yeah.
dive in and go. Yeah.
That comes from your passion and your connection to your practice and to people. And that just all goes back to what you just said about 5-7 minutes ago. Because you have that connection, because you have that passion, that's what, like, you sat back and you have the fantastic partner in Tamara. So it's like, I'm sure that, you guys just leveled up and are doing what most people are going to look back in hindsight and said, man, I wish I would have did that. People are going to remember what you did, especially your loyal students and the people that log in. So I'm very proud of you for doing that. And it's amazing because I've been following the journey on the emails that I've been getting and stuff like that, which is great.
That's
So
really awesome. It's really cool, Scott, when you say that too, because as we're talking about Mysore, now I know that your listeners are, all over the world. And I had my first virtual Mysore class last Thursday.
wow.
And I had a brand new student. And at first I was like, how am I even going to do this? This is like so foreign. I just, and I just set it up and I figured I'll just jump in. That's the way we pretty much get everything done, is you have no idea. You just start. And of course I had a brand new student who's never even done Mysore before. And I was really just like, I was nervous, I thought, how am I going to pull this off? And it was so cool. And what's amazing with these Zoom rooms and the technology of the internet now is that it's really possible to actually teach in a pretty efficient fashion
Yeah.
with this setting. And I'm blown away by it. So, if any of you out there that are listening want to try the method that Scott's mentioning, you can jump in any of our classes and I'll work with you. I'll work one-on-one with you and you can get started.
That's beautiful. Thanks, Todd. I really appreciate that, man. That's
Yeah.
fantastic that you do that. I think that me practicing the Mysore is fantastic because as much as traveling that as I have, and then with this, even now, what's going on, I can still get my practice done. I know what I need to do, and I'm just getting better at each asana or pose, which is fantastic. So let's get in our DeLorean and go back to when Todd was about 20 years old. And you met Todd then. What would you pass on to Todd, the 20-year-old Todd, that you know now?
That is a really great question, Scott. I would say to him, you know what? Keep following your heart, keep following your passion. I know you're going against the grain with the way that you're looking for your career path and what it is that you're going to do in life. Hold true, hold steady. It's going to be rough, but really great people are going to come into your life that are going to give you some advice and help you out and give you some guidance. So just don't give up, but also keep focused on the dream that you have and just stay on it no matter what. And that's probably what I'd have to say, because I remember just feeling pretty lost and just wondering, where am I going to fit into this world? And I just, I knew I had dreams and visions, but, I also had to be practical.
Sure.
And I could have taken a little bit of advice if someone actually said, you're going to be fine. You're going to be absolutely fine. That would have been amazing.
Wouldn't it? You know what, our fathers, when we grew up, but your dad's amazing. Your dad's not like the majority of other men that I've known in my generation, where it was just kind of like seen and not heard kind of thing. Like there was no such thing as timeout. It was knockout, so like they didn't give us advice. And you have how many children?
I have two.
You have two. And so what's their ages now? Because they're getting big. I see them on social, but like what's round about their ages?
Ethan is 13, and my daughter Priya just turned 7.
So you got the 13-year-old, and they're going to be 18 soon. So you're going to have like the perfect, advice to give them. That's amazing. That's amazing. So what? You have this yoga studio, and again, folks, he's number 1 in the Palm Beach Post. What is the big thing Todd and Tamara want to accomplish in life?
Our main goal is our focus now, because we have young children, is to remain a strong, stable couple that listens to each other and stays strong together. with that being said, so that we can provide for our children and just have a good, stable, happy home for them. And then, you know, long term, because obviously kids do get older and move on. Long term, you know, we just have this vision that we're going to be practicing and teaching yoga together well into our 70s, 80s, and 90s, you know. So we really actually don't want to do much else than what we're doing right now.
I love it. You guys are so, the passion
Yeah.
and connection, again, it goes back to what you said. You are the epitome of that. So, you know,
Thank you, Scott.
so what is the one thing you know for sure?
The one thing I know for sure, oh, well, I have a good one for you. The one thing
I love a good one. I love that.
The one thing I can guarantee you is that I really have no idea and I don't know anything. That's like the one thing. The one thing I can promise you is that I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I steal that from Socrates
Sure.
because I love Socrates, and I think his famous line is that the one thing I know is that I don't know.
Right.
And it's hard because to be certain about anything these days, you just got to be careful with that. But on a more just, you know, I guess if I were to answer that without taking from Socrates, the one thing I know now is that I still experience discomfort and pain in my body here and there, different varying forms. And that one thing that seems really obvious to me is that still practicing and moving and working with it, it always shifts and it never really stays the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I feel really confident in now.
Okay.
Whereas
Yeah.
as before, I wasn't so sure. I thought, am I always going to be, you know, what is up with this pain business, you know?
Right.
And it, you know, it's there and it comes and it goes, but I notice that it just keeps shifting. So that for me is something that
When you say shifting, you mean shift from different parts of your body?
yeah, well, I mean, I think I have a couple days where I just feel amazing and I don't have any pinched nerve sensations and
Mm-hmm.
muscles feel great, body feels great. And then because the practice that we're involved in involves, you know, movement that ends up pulling and pressing on you and taking you in all these different positions, that occasionally sometimes you know, you kind of feel a little bit tweaked out a bit, you know,
Right.
and that's,
Sure. Ashtanga is 8 limbs, right? Is
that's
that the,
correct.
okay. So you're
That's
using pretty much 8 limbs in every asana or every pose, correct?
correct.
Pretty close, maybe. So
Yeah,
that could be taxing in a sense,
that's
but
right.
yeah.
With the aging process, I'm learning now to dial it back a bit and take the practice in a direction from feeling like I need to try to achieve more in terms of challenge and difficulty and transitioning that over into now it's about longevity and being happy, just kind of taking it slow and not really trying to show off and not trying to
Right.
prove anything. And that obviously is something that comes with age and you know, and now feel like I'm trying to integrate that in a little bit more.
So are you still doing a back bend for every birthday year?
Well, that's a good question, Scott. This last year, based on everything I'm telling you, a year ago I had a shoulder injury, and so when doing drop backs requires a lot of that's a pretty intense shoulder position for me right
Oh
now.
yeah.
And so this was the first year after I think I kept it going for about 8 years so I turned 46 this year and I had to take a little break from that, but I'm hoping my shoulder's feeling a lot better. My next birthday's coming up in October. So
October,
I'm
yeah.
hoping to pull it off this year.
Nice. Well,
No, so
folks,
there's yeah.
the people that are listening to us, if you go over to our webpage, which our link will be in there, I have a from 2016 Todd doing, maybe it was 42 then. How old
Yeah,
were you in 16?
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So did 42, and I have it in a speed up, so you'll see him do it quick. But he does a back bend. Just imagine putting yourself in a reverse U, and then touching, and then coming back up and doing it one for every year of your life. So that was amazing to watch, and I actually have it on video, which I will dig it up and put it in the show notes here for you to watch, people. It's amazing. Todd, if we were to remove your cell phone and your computer, what are the 3 things you can't live without?
Another great question. I love them. Well, I'd say obviously the obvious things like water and food. So, that's going to be critical. That's ground zero. My family, I have to go. Family for me is number one. So those two are the main things. And number three, music. I gotta have music.
So yoga is just a given, right? It's already in there. Yoga's already grained in there.
Yoga's in there, yeah. Maybe yoga. Well, yeah, it has to be music.
Maybe yoga. Hey, what's your definition of a life well lived?
Definition of a life well lived. To be able to wake up in the morning and feel excited about what's going to happen today, and to at least half of the days of the year have that feeling.
Hey, that's a realist. I love it.
Yeah, but not every day. I mean, come on, let's be real. But
I have my days. I had it this morning. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like one of those days where I'm not gonna lie. I binge watched Ozark last night and slept. Go to bed till 3 a.m. So you have those days.
I'm on the second to last Tiger King. I can't wait to finish it.
Hey, okay, so we're gonna move into our leveling up lightning round, and we got 5 or 6 questions I'm gonna ask you. You and I could talk for 15, 20 minutes, but my producer, I see him on the screen here next to me. He's like 5 to 7 seconds per answer. So they're not hard, not rocket science, but we're going to go right into the lightning round. You ready?
Got it.
What is the best level up advice you've ever received?
Show up every day.
Love that. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Practice every day.
I love it. Other than nativeyogacenter.com and, of course, timetoshinetoday.com, my shameless plug, what's another website you like to go to level up your life?
Inspiration. I go to Audible and get audiobooks, so audible.com.
Love it. Okay. So on that note, not one you're listening to now, not one's the flavor of the week. What is your go-to book that you will always remember that stands out? Maybe it was given to you by an uncle or a father or something like that. What is that book?
My favorite book, probably the Ramayana, which is a classic text out of India.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
All right.
Ranayana.
Okay.
A good one.
All right. Favorite charity or organization you like to support with time or money?
110% Piper's Angels all the way. Shout out to Piper's Angels. Check them out. They support cystic fibrosis.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Yes. Amazing.
All right. Yeah. And last question. What is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
Oh my gosh. That is such a hard question. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna say 70s.
We can hang out on each. I love the 70s, man. I have it on almost every night.
I love the 70s. Yes.
Todd, leave the Time to Shine Today squad with one knowledge nugget that you want them to take with them and internalize and use.
Make the best use of this time that we're in right now that requires us to stay at home, slow down, and be present. And this is an incredible gift. This is not torture. This is not a problem. We can get through this and turn it into maybe the greatest couple of weeks of your life.
Love it. I love that. Todd, how can we find you?
Visit our website at nativeyogacenter.com. Social media, Instagram at Native Yoga, Twitter at Native Yoga, Facebook at Native Yoga Center. And I also have an online teaching website that's called nativeyogacenter.teachable.com.
nativeyogascenter.teachable.com. I have that right hidden here, and that will be in the show notes, people. And that is that for somebody to come and become a yoga instructor themselves, or is that something that you're teaching?
I'm working on coming up with my teacher training program virtually, and
Virtually? Okay.
I've gotten all the footage filmed. I just have to actually put it up on the Teachable site.
Love
But
it.
currently it offers just a couple of the different classes that we have, and I upload all of our live stream classes that we offer every day onto there as well, so you can check those out.
Excellent. Well, squad, you just had a fantastic interview conversation with my really good friend Todd Mack, and he has his 14th anniversary coming up here in another week or so at a phenomenal studio. His passion and connection to his practice rings through. And what he just told you about making the best use of this time to be with yourself, to really self-inflect and really, get to know yourself a little bit better. Even whether it's this time or another time, make time daily to do that. Todd is a humble man. He's a driven man. He's a family man. He levels up his health. He levels up his wealth. And he's always shining bright. And Todd, thank you so much. I'm privileged for you to come on board. You're part of the Time to Shine Today squad. So again, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you, Scott. It was really fun. Thank you.
We'll talk soon.